Hey guys, so we're on wireframing and we are on assignment number 4 of wireframing. And the lesson is consistency. So let's go ahead and click on this little link where we've been going to for our assignments. And consistency is the lesson. So let's see, consistency. Consistency is about building and maintaining a consistent experience in your designs, products, and systems. And that's one of the reasons that we're choosing the Hawking College bookstore as our project because it's not consistent with the rest of Hawking College's website, as I've shown earlier. Wait for it to come up. Yeah, it's not consistent with the rest of Hawking College's website. Neither is the athletics page, evidently, but we're going to leave that one alone. And go back to Figma. Customers have become accustomed to specific interface objects and even the location of those objects on the screen. This makes the experience familiar and your product becomes more straightforward to use. This includes establishing the colors, typefaces, and tone of a product. Cohesiveness. The experience of your product should be cohesive, with a continuation from one element to the next, like the way a book is structured. Every visual element cues the audience that you're still in the same story, moving from chapter to chapter, with all the stuff being, similar. This goes back to our discussion of design patterns in the simplicity lesson. Maintaining the location of objects, like the menu button and one of the top two corners, is a design pattern established in many products and one that you can build into your product too. Your customer can already tell how your product works because it works like all the other products they're familiar with. They don't have to spend time learning how to work with the interface. People become accustomed to existing patterns, and our brains are optimized for recalling and repeating patterns. Like I said in the last video, keep it simple, stupid. We also, it's like, don't make me think. Those are the two kind of mentalities we want to kind of take into consideration when it comes to design. Keep it simple, stupid, and don't make me think. We build a shared understanding of how specific products work, and then have an expectation for how similar products are supposed to work. The intuitiveness is based on design patterns across the design industry. These patterns are also seen in common design systems and are a benefit of Google's material design and Apple's human interface guidelines. As you establish a mood and a tone to your designs, you'll want them to feel consistent as well. So continuation from one screen or a product to the next, as if one voice is talking to your customer. If you click on a link on your website and the next page feels radically different, which is kind of the situation here. Sorry. They may think that the hyperlink took them to another website and not another page. For me, I mean, you can tell it's still Hawking College, but it feels dated. It feels like it's old and hasn't been updated. And that can cause concerns for somebody who's wanting to pay with a credit card. So that's the kind of issue with this. Well, one of the issues of the fact that this is not the same as this. Sorry. Let's see. This expands to the tone of your interface copy as well. Your writing should remain consistent with your product. If your product is geared toward an enterprise audience, and your homepage or landing screen describes the product in a formal, professional way, then the other pages or screens in your product should not be casual. So make sure you got the same tone, the same kind of speaking language, so to speak, across. So I think it mentioned typos, didn't it? There's something that made me think of typos, but one of the things that's also could be, cause for concern is the fact that this clothing is all caps and it's not consistent with everything else. And again, this is the page that that we might be giving our credit card information to, so this might be a cause for concern. The consistency of an experience is also essential when it comes to the sharing of your product. A customer may have a great experience using your app to order groceries or buy a product, so much so that they evangelize, that they brag about your product. They love it. They tell everybody about it. Telling your friends how great it is or how beautiful it works to solve their problem. Colors and fonts. A rule of thumb is to use 2 or 3 styles of type across an entire product, like a website or an app. Using more than that can make it feel unstructured or busy or distracting. So you want to have consistency, has a lot of benefits. So using additional typefaces or colors can be used for differentiation, but should still feel like it fits in with the experience. And I close my Figma. Okay, so it talks about the differentiation with the different colors and typefaces. So that's what we kind of did here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we have the differentiation of colors, with the blue, then the white, and then the orange. Alignment. One of the easiest ways to make a document or interface look and feel well is make sure where is consistency in where objects sit in space. So say your app screen has a title and it's 100 pixels from top of the frame to the or screen. You want all the other app screens with similar titles to have those titles at the same place. So that's why we've been doing copying and pasting it. So it's the exact same on the top. The bottom's going to be different depending upon the content on the page. But that was why, aside from laziness, that we've been, selecting a frame, hitting Control C and hitting Control V and copying and pasting it, because part of it is for, make sure everything's consistent, and part of it's due to just plain and simple laziness. And I deleted the wrong one. I wanted to delete it. This one. Okay. Guides and measurements are your friends here. Just click and drag from a ruler. Yeah, you can use a ruler too. My dog's barking. So where was I at? Guides and measurements are ways. Click and drag from a ruler in Figma to create a guide, and hold the Alt key when an object is selected.
She's just standing out the door.
So it mentions a ruler here, which I'm not seeing. But I'm sure it's in here somewhere. View rulers. There we go. See, there's a ruler. So that's another way that you could do it. Cool. Okay, so you just have to, that was found under the hamburger button on the left-hand side, view, and rulers, or just hitting Shift R. And you can see that's another way you can do it, like I said. Consider the left side or vertical margin of a website, poster, app screen, yada yada. Aligning these elements to make each other will make it easier for the eye to move down the page, but also makes the layout of this content seem considered and intentional. Inconsistency. You can make or break. You can also use a break of consistency to your advantage. We avoid distractions so that our interface can get out of the way for our customers using our product. A lack of consistency can be used to create emphasis on and I think it's supposed to be and attract attention. Our brain detects patterns and signals your attention. Our brains detect patterns and signal your attention when it happens, when it's happening in front of your eyes, and from the expected pattern. So an example is indenting a quote block to further emphasize it. One thing to keep in mind when considering types of emphasis is to limit the amount of them. A bold, red, italics, larger block of text is not really necessary if you are also indenting it. And remember, if everything is bold, nothing is bold. So take that into consideration. As we'll consider the upcoming hierarchy lesson, this creation of emphasis is a tool that is used to draw the attention of your customers. Consistency is often broken and will happen frequently, and that's okay. It's It's more important to understand your customers' needs and solve their problem than maintain a rigid, consistent product. So that's pretty much the reading lesson on consistency.